Welcome back to another edition of the NFL Draft Bible Players Spotlight Show. I am your host, Chris Shanafelt, and joining the show now, or joining the show once again, is Western Illinois wide receiver 2018 NFL Draft prospect Jaelon Acklin. This is actually Jalen's second time on the show. He joined us shortly after his senior season a few months back, and here we are now 1 week removed, or 1 week away, I should say, from the 2018 NFL Draft. And again, Jaelon joins me now. Jaelon, how's everything going, man?
It's going good. It's going good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, the pleasure's all mine. So, for those who aren't familiar with your game, Jaelon, I kind of want to just give them a little bit of a refresher about you and your journey. I mean, coming out of high school, you had two Division I offers, one from Western Illinois, which ultimately you would go there and spend 5 years there, and then the other was Fordham, a university in New York, another FCS program. And then you went on, and your first 3 years there at Western Illinois, I believe you had 20 or 21 receptions, and then you really dedicated yourself to the weight room. You kind of turned yourself into a totally different athlete and receiver in the offseason leading up to your senior year. And you had a huge breakout year as a senior. You were an All-American and well-deserved. I mean, just talk about all the hard work that has gone into really just bringing you to this point now, being a legit prospect for the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I had to go through kind of like a maturity. I had to kind of mature as far as like off the field, kind of putting the time. I was actually watching the NBA game. I don't know if you've seen Victor lately, but Victor Oladipo kind of did the same thing I did, cleaned up his diet, and, that kind of took him to the next level. He's competing with like LeBron James now. And so, obviously I'm not Victor Oladipo, but in part of like making my body better, I was able to become a much better athlete, shred fat, Burt went up, my speed went up. So it just made me a better wide receiver overall, and I feel a whole lot better. And that obviously translated over to the field. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And, again, I mean, stats are one thing. The film is really another thing, especially when talking about your game, Jaelon. But I'll go ahead and rattle off the stats. 84 receptions for nearly 1,400 yards and 10 touchdowns. Including one of the craziest games I've seen out of a receiver against South Dakota, where literally every ball that was thrown your way, you would come down with reception. You had over 300 yards, I believe almost 400 yards, three touchdowns. I mean, talk about that performance, and how were you able to put that performance together? I mean, literally everything was going your way.
Yeah. It's funny, like, whenever you're on the field, like, you don't realize, I was just doing my job, like, I'm just doing what I'm told to do. Luckily, I got the ball thrown to me, 19 times in the game. I caught just about every single one of them. So, things were just going my way. We're playing against our old coaching staff, so I kind of knew the defensive scheme, their tendencies, what their alignments were going to be like. So, that helped me a lot, too. But at the end of the day, we just had to execute, and we executed. But, we didn't end up winning the game, but it was kind of bittersweet because that's what really put me on the map for scouts and stuff. So, it was cool and all, but I would like to get the win.
Yeah, that's right. Coach Bob Nielsen, now the head coach over at South Dakota. 19 receptions, 343 yards, and 3 touchdowns in that game against South Dakota. A very good South Dakota team that went very deep in the FCS playoffs as well. And, talk about the success that you were able to see not only individually, but as a team as well. You guys had all things clicking both offensively and defensively. Unfortunately, came up short against Weber State there in the playoffs. But, it was a fantastic season. And, especially, throughout your time at Western Illinois, the FCS playoffs weren't an every year thing. I got to think it was nice to kind of, be back in the playoffs, get that taste back in your mouth before your collegiate career officially ended.
Yeah, that's the reason I wanted to go. I wanted to go to Western because I felt it was the best opportunity for me to grow as a player and the best opportunity for me to win a championship. Obviously, we play elite level talent week in and week out, and I feel like this last year was the most complete overall team that we'd had at Western for quite a while. We had Brett Taylor, Sean McGuire, Tyron Holloway, which was our corners, getting looked at by NFL players. I mean, every position was strong. Like, we didn't have any weak links on the team. So, I mean, it was a lot of fun. Kind of got suckered in on that first round matchup with Weber State and playoffs, but you kind of just kind of deal with the cards that you're dealt with. But I would never go to any other team or choose any other university over Western Illinois.
Well, you mentioned your quarterback, Sean McGuire. He'll be back this year at Western Illinois. Quickly, I mean, what's the future of Western Illinois football looking, at least for next season? Head coach Charlie Fisher took the wide receivers coach job with Herm Edwards at Arizona State. Jared Elliott now takes over. And, again, I mean, Sean McGuire, one of the top quarterbacks in the nation. I mean, I got to think, despite losing, leading receiver in yourself, and Sean McGuire had to deal with this a couple years ago with losing both Borsellino and Lenore. But not only is he losing his go-to guy on offense, but he's also losing a great leader on defense in Brett Taylor. And as you mentioned, Tyron Holloway as well. I mean, what's the future looking like with the Western Illinois Leathernecks come 2019 or 2018?
The future's good. I'm going to start with Coach Elliott, offensive coordinator last year. Has a very unique talent on going with game flow, knowing what the defense is going to do, knowing his players playing. And has a real connection with every single player on the team. Not a lot of head coaches are like that. And also our assistant coaches, we kept the same assistant coaches pretty much. Our offensive coordinator, Coach Rocco, he was my receivers coach last year. So I keep in contact with him a lot. He says the offense is doing real well. And I expect nothing but greatness from Sean. Sean has a very rare and unique talent on and off with every single person on the team. Everyone on the team likes him. And you could put any receiver out there and he'll find a way to get on the ball. Very, very unique quarterback. That's all I can say about Sean. And I expect him to do great things next year and possibly even be in the same situation that I am, maybe even better, honestly, because he has everything that you want from an NFL quarterback and a college quarterback. So,
again, he's 2018 NFL draft prospect wide receiver out of Western Illinois University. Jaelon Acklin joining me here on the NFL Draft Bible Players Spotlight Show. And Jaelon, when you hear that, I mean, what kind of goes through your mind? Here 1 week away from the start of the 2018 NFL Draft, and I mean, at this point last year, did you ever think that you'd be in this situation?
No. I mean, last year I was just hoping to get some playing time. Honestly, I was just trying to get the starting job. I was still kind of fighting for a job, but yeah, like I'm just enjoying the moment right now. I work out every day. I'm just ready for the call. I have teams call me every day. I didn't go on any visits, official, like top 30 visits or anything like that. But, I get calls from offensive coordinators. I had Coach Harbaugh text me today. So it's not like they don't know me. So I'm just waiting for my opportunity next week. And, I'm just ready. I'm ready to go.
Absolutely. And here's a tweet from Brian McLaughlin from Hero Sports. He says that a certain Texans receivers coach, Wes Welker, obviously former NFL great, now an assistant with the Houston Texans, has been in contact with you along with teams such as the Vikings, Giants, Cowboys, Browns, Lions, and Rams, as well as the Jets as well. Like you said, I mean, it's almost unthinkable, unbelievable seeing where you were at a year ago. And, we mentioned it earlier, how much you spent in the weight room, and I think I read somewhere you lost 20 pounds and then you put on some muscle as well. Well, here you are now this off season, getting ready to kind of turn yourself into a track star, and we'll get to your numbers in just a second because you absolutely dominated that, and I know you've been on record saying, hey, come pro day, a lot of people are gonna start, you're gonna start opening a lot of eyes, and that's exactly what you did. How comparable was last off season and kind of getting your body right for the season to getting your body right to be a kind of a track athlete, track star, and running a fast 40 or jumping as high as you can? I mean, was there any comparables in how you got ready for the football season last year, a breakout football season for you last year, and compared to getting ready for your pro day?
Yeah, I wanted to eat clean, try to eat a little bit more fat. I mean, I was at like 7%, I think, at the start of training, and I was down to like 6 by the time pro day came around. And, just try to build a little bit more muscle. I didn't want to be too stocky to where like I couldn't run or anything. So I tried to, just balance it out with fat and muscle. But as far as training goes, it's a lot more explosion. You don't really do like low rep, a lot of weight. It's more like lighter weight, higher reps. So it was kind of the same. I was fortunate enough to go work out at Lando with like Doris Fountain, Michael Gallup, some of the top wide receivers in the draft. So I kind of got to gauge myself and how I was performing, and kind of compete every day with them. So it just made me a better player.
And we'll throw your pro day numbers on the screen right now. I mean, you measured in 6'2", 190. You ran a 4.46 40-yard dash. I know that you've been clocked, just a couple weeks ago as low as like a mid 4.3. You ran a pro agility. I believe it's like more so a 20-yard shuttle, 3.96, 3-cone 6.62, 39.5-inch vertical, 10.4 broad jump. Walking away following your pro day performance, and I know you were able to participate in the Northwestern University's pro day, and you guys had your own there at Western Illinois as well in Macomb. Walking away, it's finally over. You trained so long for this. I'm sure it was pretty nerve-wracking leading up to it as well. I gotta think you were pretty satisfied with the numbers that you put up, no?
Yeah. I mean, I was satisfied. I would have liked to run a quicker 40, because at the end of the day, that's what the scouts are going to look at the most is your 40 time. But, a 4.46 isn't slow, so I guess I'll take it. But at the end of the day, with everything else, like my vertical, I didn't really expect that. 5.10.5 was what I expected, 3-cone. So it's not like out of this world things. It's stuff that I've done, since I was in high school. I've always been good at stuff like that. And, that's kind of what the scouts didn't think I was going to be good at, is testing. And I think I proved that I could. And then and my stats to back it up too. So I'm just trying to check all the boxes that I can to show them that I'm an NFL receiver.
And obviously, a lot's been talked about of your pro day numbers. When it comes to your film, though, Jaelon, I mean, what are some things you take pride of about your game? I mean, what would you say are some of your biggest strengths and, not necessarily a weakness, but maybe something you'd still like to work on to get better at?
I think my toughness, competitiveness, route running, I think that's my top 3. I don't know if you've got to watch my highlight film, but I get cracked a couple times. I gotta let Sean know he's throwing me right into safety sometimes, but I just want people to know I'm gonna get right back up no matter how hard they hit me. So I take a lot of pride in, and competitiveness. I love playing against people like Devontae Harris, Taron Johnson, Trey Dempsey. I love going up against people like that. It just makes me better. It makes them better, and it makes it's what the fans want to see. They want to see the best go up against the best. So, and then some of my weaknesses. One I would like to get better at to kind of up my game would be like getting stronger, getting off press, being able to use my physical presence a little bit more. Sometimes I tend to rely on my quickness and speed to get off press coverage and stuff like that. But I mean, that's something that's fixable. I just got to get in the weight room, and I'm working on it right now, getting stronger. So hopefully, by the time rookie minicamp comes around, all that perfected.
You mentioned a couple guys, Taron Johnson, Weber State cornerback, Devontae Harris, Illinois State cornerback. And, not only are those some of the better cornerbacks or, some of the better cornerbacks in this year's draft, but they're cornerbacks that are coming from the Missouri Valley and guys that, I think it's safe to say you had some success going up against as well. Overall, the Missouri Valley, talk about how tough it is. Every year we got guys like yourself coming out, getting ready for the NFL draft. Every year during the NFL season, we see guys, Carson Wentz obviously had a huge part in the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl run last year from North Dakota State. How awesome was it to go up against this top-notch level of talent in the Missouri Valley week in and week out? There was literally never really an opponent, I got to think, that you could say, you know what, this will be an easy week, and let's mark it up as a win before the game actually was played. I mean, some fantastic talent. I gotta think it was a lot of fun playing and kind of matching yourself up against these guys that, like I said, I mean, even before the season, Taron Johnson, Devontae Harris, maybe they weren't necessarily household names, but they were names that were at least on the NFL radar. And again, I mean, a couple guys that you had some success against.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The atmosphere in Missouri Valley is second to none in football. So, going to North Dakota State, going to South Dakota State, even Illinois State, like those are all UNI. Like, I mean, that's sold out every single game. So, it's awesome because you're kind of on an FBS level atmosphere there. But the talent there isn't FCS. I don't like to say that we're, FCS talent, because the talent in the Missouri Valley is just as good or better than some FBS talents. Devontae Harris and Taron Johnson, and Trey Dempsey too, very, very good FCS players that could FBS football, in my opinion, and I think they'll have successful NFL careers. And it's a lot of fun going against guys that, hopefully I can tell my kids one day, like, you might see Taron Johnson or Devontae Harris on TV, and, hopefully I'm on TV, but I can tell them, like, I played against all those guys in college. Like, I know those guys. So, that's what I love. I love going against the best players and, on how I am with them. And I just love to compete like that.
Absolutely. A few more questions before we let you go. Again, he's Jaelon Acklin, 2018 NFL Draft prospect, wide receiver at Western Illinois University. And, I'm right there with you. I mean, the Missouri Valley, it's just something totally different. I mean, I love the Big Sky. I love, the Southern Conference, all these other conferences, but there's nothing like the Missouri Valley. And honestly, it's better than some of the power, or it could stack up right up there with some of the Power 5 conferences. I mean, it's been called the SEC of the FCS for many years, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon. Now, Jaelon, obviously, being looked at as a day 3 prospect, maybe a priority free agent. How about special teams? How about the special teams aspect of the game? I mean, what do you bring, and how willing are you to play that phase 3 of the game?
Yeah, I get a lot of questions on what games. Obviously I played a lot of special teams my first 3 years. Played kind of everywhere. I played returner. I played front line on kickoff, on the punt team. I played everywhere. So primarily, I think they're going to want me more as a returner with kind of my light frame, if I weigh like 190 around there. And but yeah, I think I contribute on special teams, whether that's a gunner or a returner or anywhere. I think I have and I think that I have the will to be a blocker on like kickoff return and stuff. So, it's just a matter of me finding the right team that knows how to use my strengths. And, I do think that I can build a reputation there, and then hopefully either get a backup job or, if I get lucky, maybe even a wide receiver.
Absolutely. And final question for you, Jaelon. Let's say we have all 32 NFL general managers. They're tuned in. They're listening to this very interview. Why should they want the wide receiver out of Western Illinois University, Jaelon Acklin, a part of their team?
I'm a hard worker. I run good routes, and I don't drop passes. So, if that's all that I think that you would want from a wide receiver. And I'm a competitor. I like to compete every single play. At all times, so like I'm always doing stuff off the field to get better and better, and I won't strive until I'm the best. So,
any plans for draft day? Are your eyes going to be glued to the TV, or are you going to kind of go out and kind of try and distract yourself and just make sure the phone's on?
I'll probably just go out and try to distract myself. If I watch the draft, I'll start getting mad once I see like 10 receivers go in front of me. So I don't want to get mad or anything on draft day. So I'm just going to try to stick to myself, just chill with my little brothers, and I'll have my phone on just in case it does ring.
Awesome. Well, hey, Jaelon, really appreciate you taking some time. Congratulations on what was a hell of a career there at Western Illinois, especially that senior year, man. I mean, not every year do we see, or every day do we see a guy that really gets into his first opportunity his senior year and take full advantage of it like yourself. Usually they kind of move on to another program or a smaller, Division II or Division III program, but you stuck there at Western Illinois and, again, waited your time, and you certainly took full advantage of it. Congratulations, and, again, congratulations on the fantastic pro day as well, and I look forward to seeing your name called Day 3 of the NFL Draft, man. I'm calling it.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it.